every aspect of everything we do, from shopping, eating, behavior, where you travel, when you travel, if you're allowed to travel. All of that's coming up, and it's all being unified into one system. Here's one right here. This is kind of what you were talking about. And we've been harping on this before this even came up, that we were just talking about it last week or the week before, that they're going to take all this data that they've been storing for decades now, and they're just going to share it amongst everybody. So that includes government, these tech executives, all the people in Silicon Valley, all their companies. They're all going to be exchanging and selling each other the data. And yes, U.S. health officials, they're already meeting up with these people to see how they can share this data. And it's all over the place. It's literally how the AI is going to be able to take over is by
What about HIPAA?
That doesn't apply to robots, man. That's only for people. You know what I mean? Like there's no privacy when it comes to metadata. It's all out there, and what can be inferred by metadata is more information than you think that you have secret in your medical file or your private financial stuff. There's enough metadata to figure all that out. So they don't really have to directly spy on things, although they do. They can just go around it using all of these massive amounts of data sharing that's going on in the background from what your TV pays attention to. It's funny because it was a joke a while back about you talking about something and then all the ads popping up ironically or coincidentally. Well, it's not a coincidence. We know it's not now. They are targeting you individually each. And I kind of wanted to
I need a new HVAC unit here, high efficiency HVAC unit. Please send me some advertisements so I can choose which one to buy.
Right. So
save me the time of actually going to do the research online. Send me the ads. Thanks.
They got a lot of this stuff going on too. Like, check this out. Dodge builds AI tool to cut 50% of the federal regulations. Well, guess what that means? Regulations are run and operated by people. So the enforcement of specific regulations is going to be done by the AI. The AI is going to tell the few people that are going to still. This is the nightmare scenario. We already had a nightmare, out of control, ever-growing government, and now it's an AI. It's not even the people anymore. Now it's an ever-increasing exponential, and it's going to be the reason that you can't afford to pay bills soon. And they're going to start giving you excuses that they've been trying to, latch onto forever. You're killing the planet, the fossil fuels, the everything. And watch, just check out.
I would say it's already begun, because according to the a message that I received today, your purchases will be part of your healthcare liability. So they're already tracking privately with credit card companies your purchases, and that metadata is being fed back to the insurance companies on what a risk you are, because most people pay with debit card when they go in to do their grocery purchases, generally $100,
Right.
$200, $500, depending where you go. If you're at Sam's Club or if you're at a regular supermarket, they know you bought 5 bags of chips. They know you bought a 12-pack, a case. They know you bought a bottle of whiskey, you bought a bottle of vodka. Maybe you bought cigarettes, who knows? All that data is being crunched on your personal preferences of food choices, beverage choices, and things you're putting in your body, that they then assess a risk to you in terms of your health later on. And it's already being done under our noses of the sharing, and that's not really the HIPAA or anything, but you can see how that, transference of information, the inferred reference of you're eating potato chips, will cause you. What if you're just planning a picnic and hey, I'm the one who will go get the chips and the hot dogs and everything for this big company outing, and you get caught buying 10 packs of hot dogs, 10 bags of potato chips, 3 cases of Coca-Cola. Now, just that alone would put you in they're going to have a health risk there. Some things people are going to get just falsely accused of things by the diets or the purchases of things, and they're doing that now.
Absolutely.
So pay cash with your vices and use your credit cards to buy, like the healthy diet and eating book and the supplements. Use your credit card to pay for that, but use cash to buy your vices, I guess, right?
Well, they still, even if you're using cash, they're going to scan your ID or look at your ID. And before long, they won't have to scan it. They're going to install a new system where it just pings off of your wallet and has your ID of what you bought. And I was thinking about that exact scenario the other day because I realized that my significant other buys my tobacco more often than I go in the store and buy tobacco. And I'm wondering, like in 15 years, they're going to tell her, hey, well, we're sorry, we can't pay for your medical insurance because you bought all of these packs of cigars for the last 10 years. And she's like, but I don't even smoke. Well, this says otherwise. But the whole front is a deception. The whole AI takeover is a complete deception on how it's going to work. Up front, they're trying to push all the helpful things that it can do and blah blah blah. But it's really just a technocratic nightmare. And I just can go through a few articles and break down how bad it's already become. This one says Godfather of AI warns governments to collaborate before it's too late. Warning that AI is going to take over and whatever. The problem is governments. I just showed you on the other article. The governments are already collaborating. It's just not for the reason to protect us from the AI. It's on how to use the AI against us by collecting metadata, micromanaging people, all the way to like we'll get into there's a big debate about what models wear what genes and what does that supposed to mean, but that's just another
Look how
excuse.
happy Zelensky looks there on the right.
Yeah, well, he's gonna get happy. I mean, he's really happy about some stuff, and we'll get into that in a minute. Look, AI therapist goes haywire, urges users to go on killing sprees, and then you read the news and you look at the news and somebody went nuts over here and somebody went nuts over here, and and then that's the latest push for disarming or taking more rights away. All of these things can be reduced if you just replace key components with AI. Then there's no longer that person there to make a mistake. All the way from, the missing Malaysian flight, they can use that as an example. There were accusations that maybe something was happening in his life. There was accusations that maybe it was hijacked. But if it was an AI pilot, it couldn't get hijacked in that way by people, and it couldn't be flown anywhere that it wasn't supposed to go with people if the AI is actually in control of that. And this is the same thing. No liability from your shrink, your doctor, your medical provider, because it's not a real person. It's not, you can't sue an AI. AI is not even copyrightable in the way like where it makes things. So in the same way that a picture or a music can't be copyrighted, I don't think diagnosis from an AI can be held up in court for any kind of liability here soon.
Well, maybe the healthcare provider that's running the AI should have the responsibility or the culpability legally, if they're running the system, that they're the ones who should have the payout if something were to go awry. Maybe that'll nip that in the bud a little bit of just unmitigated 100%, whatever happens, whatever, go for it, AI. There has to be some restraint on this.
Well, that makes sense, and there's people doing mumblings of those kind of things, but it's not actually happening. Instead, what they're doing is just letting the AI go wild. Here's another one. This isn't even a shrink or supposed to be anything. This is just about random different companies, AIs out there getting really specific about people doing things that they shouldn't be doing. And you can read that headline there because I can't even say those words because
Well,
a different AI will come along and say, "Hey, you were talking about that, and you
you're getting
shouldn't be
flagged
talking
by an
about
AI
that."
talking about AI. Unbelievable.
Here's
And you know
another
what?
one.
They wanted that anyway. They want reduction of you know the numbers on there, so that headline fits. Like if they got those pods you can go and plop yourself into in like the Netherlands and lay down and take your last breath. That's the same exact thing, but in a different format. You can see how this is all kind of working along here. Then
Well,
you know.
yeah, they can perfect it later where instead of just telling you bad stuff to do, it can say, "Well, you can report to this government facility over here, and with some financial aid, you can take your pod to the next reality there." Like, here's this one. This one's going around right here. Chat GPT passes the "I'm not a robot" test, right? So makes you wonder why every time you log on to something now you're always having to prove you're a human when we know the computer, which I already knew years ago and thought these little stupid human tricks could easily be performed by a basic AI, and obviously they can, but now they're just admitting it. The question is how long ago or how soon it will be, or when was it, or will it be that it already passed the Turing test? I mean, like how many?
Oh, when it was. Past
Right,
tense.
when it was past tense, but they're not going to tell you that.
This is not a toothpaste. It's a revolution for your teeth. Remineralize, strengthen teeth, all natural ingredients, essential oils, minerals, salts. Alfa Vedic Dental Solutions System. That's alphavedic.com/civilization. And not a lot of people are talking about this. We always see the storable foods. But what about dental care during these same emergency situations? So take a look at what they have, alphavedic.com/civilization.